The title of this presentation is Don't Control Others, Control Yourself. Why? Because you experience in life by what you radiate energetically, what you vibrate, not by what others vibrate. Okay? Whatever you get in life is determined by your beliefs, your thinking, your speaking, and your acting. So from this you can see it's a waste of energy to try to control others, to try to impose on others, to try to tell others what to do or how to think, where to go, what to believe, how to behave. If you want others to change yourself first. Most of the relationship problems that you have are solved within yourself, not within the other. You can greatly improve your own relationship if you start taking responsibility for what you put out, for what you say, what you do, instead of trying to change that which your partner puts out. Okay? So anytime I encounter a relationship problem within my coachings, what I see is two people talking about each other and not so much talking about themselves. Okay, they start with, yes, but you, but she, but he does this and this, but yes, but he said this, and it's all about the other, what the energy, it's the focus on the energy that's coming from the other, and very little focus on the energy that's coming from oneself. You'll notice that by virtue of that which you radiate in your home, the moods of those around you will be influenced. Okay? If you have a home full of trouble and cranky people, people in a bad mood, it's not time to correct them, to control them. It's time to correct yourself first. Always look at yourself first, because your reality radiates out from you. I think that'll help you. If you always look at what energy, what speaking, what doing, what behavior is coming from you before looking to control, impose on, correct, and change others. And from this idea, this reality creation idea that I've been teaching for the last 30 plus years, you can see why I disagree with most models of society, most models of psychology and so forth. Why I don't like politicians, because a politician becomes a politician by thinking that it's up to him, or from his personal experiences, it's up to him to tell others how to live. Tell others what to think, tell others what the right path is. That's the motivation behind becoming a politician. Okay, and that's not really how reality works. Just because politician so-and-so had these experiences, it does not mean that the rest of society is going to have or has had these experiences. The experiences that I have, my financial income, my health, my communication, my relationships are not determined by which politicians happen to be in power at the moment. But that's the illusion they're selling you. Okay? In my country, the Democrats and the Republicans are selling you the illusion that your future is up to them, that you are dependent upon their decisions. However, for reality creators, which make up perhaps 1% of the world, that's never the case. They know that their future is determined by what they radiate today. And that's such a powerful message to learn, such a powerful teaching, once you know that you are responsible. Speak after me. I am fully responsible. Can you say that for me? Can you feel what it feels like to be fully responsible for your life? I am responsible. Not my partner, not my boss, not my colleague. I am responsible. I didn't say you're to blame. I said you're responsible. You can own the things that happen to you. So you can see how blaming and complaining means giving your power away. Because the moment you blame somebody else for something that happened to you, you're actually handing them your power on a plate. Can you see that? If you say, it's because of you that I'm not feeling good, it's because of you, you're giving them the power over your emotions, over your state. That's why, if I were in your shoes, I'd cut out all blaming and complaining out of my life. No complaints, no blame. Assuming that I'm fully responsible for the reality that I attract. So, you want to get away from trying to control others, which depletes your energy, depletes your happiness and mindset, to self-control. And what do I mean by self-control? I mean control of your own attention and will. Okay, those are the things you have control of. You can control the direction of your attention. If there's something not pleasing to you, you can shift your attention to something more pleasing. If you can control yourself, you can control reality. If you can control the contents of your consciousness, your thoughts, your words, your actions, you control reality. Now, if you're trying to control others, it's like you're banging against a mirror. If you attack others, you're attacking a mirror, because the world is a reflection of you. The world is truly, deeply a reflection of you. And I don't mean this in some kind of mystical, metaphorical sense. I mean that quite specifically. Everything that happens to you happens for a reason that is on some level connected to what you have been putting out as thoughts, words, and actions and emotions over the last years. So I'm going to do a little exercise with you here to make this go more deeply. You can close your eyes. And think of somebody you've been trying to control. Be it that you've been trying to control their behavior or their speech, been trying to correct them or set them straight. Or trying to change them, or wanting them to change. Now the funny thing is, every time you try to change somebody or control somebody, they rebel. The opposite of what you want comes to be. And often, once you let go of trying to change them, they actually do change. You have to allow people to change instead of trying to get them to change. By loving people as they are, you're going to get your way much more often. Okay? It's not like when you let go of trying to change them, you'll never get your way again. On the contrary. Your sphere of influence will increase because you're not coming from control and imposing, you're coming from love and appreciating beings as they are. So as you observe that person you wanted to control, as you think of that, imagine letting go of trying to control that person. Imagine just letting them be. Imagine just letting them be as they are. So I said, if you can just let them be as they are, your influence on them grows. So right now, I'd like you to imagine them the way you'd prefer them to be. What kind of change is it you've been trying to enforce? Instead of trying to enforce that, or manipulate them into it, or control them, or change them, just imagine that they're already that way. If you do that, the chances of this actually coming true increase because you're going to radiate something different than control. You see, control is always being unsatisfied with the way things are. And right now, I'd like you to imagine that person the way you'd like them to be, with no expectation that they have to become that way or be that way. All right, let go, thank you. Simple exercise, which I recommend you do with every single person you've ever wanted to change or control. Okay, so if, for example, you have a teenage son that is not following what you want them to do, you know what happens if you keep telling them and keep monitoring and controlling them. Teenagers want to be adults, they want to be different, so they're going to rebel, all right? The much smarter way to influence your teenage son would be to let go of trying to impose on them and control them, and instead visualize them being the way you'd like them to be. Not controlling others does not mean being timid and passive. You can tell people what you'd prefer, you should even, what you need, what you'd like, but you can do so without the expectation or demand that that has to happen. You see, it's a fine line of balance here. You see the paradox? Letting go of control puts you in control. Wanting control is being out of control. Only somebody who's powerless and out of control constantly wants control. That's the paradox. So all these control freaks you see out there, they feel powerless, actually. I recently saw this ad where they were putting RFID stickers, those are tracking devices, little stickers on different gadgets in order not to lose them or to prevent theft. So that if they get stolen, they have this app where they could track each device a sticker was put on. And then somebody nearby said, that's interesting. I could just put that sticker on my wife's t-shirt or into her handbag without her ever knowing, and I could track everywhere she goes. And I looked at him in horror, actually, because he was serious. Okay, he wasn't joking or anything. He was actually serious. And that kind of control freak attitude is not good for the world. Okay, controlling and tracking and surveilling and monitoring people all the time, it's fear-based. It comes from the idea that something bad is going to happen, and that's not the way to live a good life. You can't really control others, you can only control yourself, and by controlling yourself, you can pretty much control what happens to you, whether good things happen or bad things happen. You don't need RFID stickers, you don't need camera-equipped drones, If this guy is afraid that his wife is going to do something bad that he won't like, he has to work on that within himself. He has to dissolve that belief within himself. Okay? So the question here might come up, okay, if I solve everything within myself and the people around me are still behaving badly, what then? And I usually say, well, there's probably still something within you that is just not vibrating correctly. Okay? I usually say, work on yourself, and then work on yourself some more, and then improve yourself some more. And if you're still surrounded by bad people, then by all means leave. Okay? Then it's really, really something in them which is just low energy or bad intentions, negative intentions. But in most cases, people aren't like that. You work on yourself, and people are going to come up to speed. So don't control others, control yourself. It's all about self-control. I know that most of society is about what others should do and what so-and-so should do, but that's not what reality creation is about. That's not what self-empowerment, self-improvement, and enlightenment are all about. You have a wonderful day.